Yo, good morning, people. Good morning. It is early in the morning. Sun's just starting to come up here, guys. Yo. So, since it's morning, I have morning chores. I have to water all my plants, and I have to let the chunkins out. So come on with me. We're gonna do my morning chores. Yo. So here we are in the chicken run area. The girls are all pecking to get the hell out of there. They want their food. So let's let them out here. So this is what I do every single morning. Open up this. I have to let their bottom area down. Come on, ladies. Up. You guys have made a serious mess in here. I'm going to have to clean that up. Put that out so they got food. We need to get them some fresh water, but they're going to drink a little bit real quick. They're all like, give me water. I want water. Like, thirsty. I'm going to have to clean all of this up on their chicken run. They do this every so often. If I let them in there, leave them in there too long like I did this morning so I could do this video with you guys. Usually I let them out like a good half an hour earlier, but here we are. So now that I've got the girls out, they've got food, they've got water, they're going to be happy. I'll change their water out here in just a minute. All right. So now we're in the back of my house. Watering the plants back here. I've got cucumbers up in this section. I've got peas in this section and zucchini in that section. So this is my vertical garden back here. On a rotation, I have planted tomatoes back here. But today, or this season, we're going with a vertical garden so that we are rotating the crops. As you rotate your crops, you lessen the chance of diseases and stuff like that. That is the big goal with rotating crops, is making sure that you are getting rid of the potential of diseases. So I did all of this stuff from seedling, so I sowed the ground. This is just one of many ways that you could sit there and make sure that the food that you're actually eating is nutritious. Not saying anything bad about the commercial farming. They're incentivized to grow veggies by any means necessary. Even if they end up overwatering and washing out any kind of nutritional value because they're trying to get big, juicy, plump stuff, right? And then they're using, potentially GMOs and non-organic fertilizers and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at how people used to eat back in the 70s and how healthy they were back in the 70s, and you look at us today, we're medically sick because we don't grow good food anymore. What you buy at the big box office, I would say, is more of a product than food. That's just my viewpoint on it. I could be right, I could be wrong, don't know. But we want to make sure that we are living as healthy as possible at the end of the day. So give these guys a good drink. I do this once a day. Make sure that when you're growing stuff that it's got good drainage. Not very many plants like to sit in water. So, if you are planting in a low area that can collect water, you might want to mound up your dirt so that you can pick the plant out of the water. And it's usually the best way to do it. Raised gardens will help you do that. If you're planting in ground like this, make sure it's got good drainage, people. All right. That's good enough for you girls. I got other areas to go. Come follow me. Yo, so here we are on my back deck here. In the boxes here, I've got spinach. I've got 3 boxes, one over there too, so it's 3 boxes. And then I've got hanging planters, and these have tomatoes in there. So let's go ahead and get watering on this. Spinach is a cold climate. It likes the cooler, so spinach will grow optimum really good in the spring and in the fall. So that is a good thing. that we are in spring mode still, and this will allow me to get some good nutrients going into here. I've got potting soil in here and then a cloth style planter basket, and this will allow good drainage. Again, we don't want to let the plants sit in a bunch of water. That will root rot your plants. And then with the hanging planters, this one's an actual topsy-turvy. The other ones are just a hanging planter. And these bad boys work really well on tomatoes. Tomatoes seem to thrive very well like this. I mean, otherwise you got to do like tomato baskets and stuff like that. Both styles work very well. I just kind of do it until I see it dripping a little bit through the bottom here. I know my camera probably might not be showing it very well, and these planters here are cloth, where the topsy-turvy is plastic. I'm not sure which one I like more or less, but that's pretty much what I got back here. Let's go over to my next section, guys. So over here, I've got my onions, which are growing very well, I have to admit. They seem to be liking this little area, and this is new area that I broke ground on, so I have no idea what the nutrients level of it is. It might take a couple of seasons to correct the dirt, but either way, these onions are like, I love it here. I gave it some good watering. Up over in this section, I mean, my onion tops are probably about 5 inches tall on some of them, so they are absolutely thriving here. I put a little bit of compost that I had from a couple of seasons ago into it, and these bad boys have absolutely took off like gangbusters. Now, I try to keep all the weeds up out of this section the best that I can, so I usually water this stuff and then let it set for a second, and then I'll pull weeds a little bit later on. And then in this section, so from here over is all onions in here. From here this way is romaine lettuce. Again, it's another thing that likes cold weather. Oh, and the neighbor's dog wants the ball over here. Oh, let me help you out. I threw it. So, I love the neighbor's dog. Neighbor's dog is so friendly. It is Lucy. That's her name. Looks like a black lab or something like that. Now with the romaine lettuce, I haven't seen anything pop that looks like romaine lettuce. Of course, I don't know what romaine lettuce looks like when it starts to grow. So as soon as I start seeing romaine lettuce getting taken off, I'll know what's a weed and what's not a weed, and I can really clear out the lettuce pat. And I give it a good soaking in the morning. This dirt's got really good drainage, so I can water the hell out of this and not have to worry. Again, if you guys got problems with drainage, be careful. If you notice that, like if you plant tomatoes and they die really quickly after a good rainstorm, it's probably a sign that the ground that you're planting in does not have good drainage. I have other sections here. Let's get into the other areas, talk about the other plants that I got going. All right, so in this section here, I've got potatoes. Yo, that's right. So we're gonna get the potatoes watered here. With potatoes, you typically bury them about 6 inches below the dirt line. And when you see them sprout back up and they come breaking through the dirt, you're going to sit there and wait for them to grow another 6 inches, and then you're going to mound some dirt over that. And do that, if you can, do that like twice, and the more you mound up potatoes, the more potatoes you will actually start getting. And then I usually weed this one out because I know that the potatoes have not sprouted through yet. So anytime I see green, it's either grass or a weed. These are like cloth little planters over here. These have got 1 potato in it each, and potatoes don't like to be overwatered. Make sure that you got good drainage in your potatoes and all of that good stuff. I've got some more tomatoes and some other things to water. Come on with me, guys. All right. Oh, wow. Plant in here, plant, huh? So I got to pull this out. Oh, good God. You really got yourself on there. The wind must have been blowing a little bit. That's why you always want to check on your plants in the morning. Make sure you get all the junk off of it. Got my fire pit over there, right next to you. One thing I like about the spring is that the plants don't take a lot of water because it's not warm enough to really evaporate the moisture out of the soil. So I could typically get away with watering a little bit less. Now, when you go into the dog days of summer, you might be watering a little bit more. Try to do your watering in the morning or in the evening time. If you try to water during the blazing sun, you can. Just try not to get the leaves wet on your plant while it's the middle of the day. If you're watering in the middle of the day, try to water more towards the soil instead of letting it rain down on it like this. Little pro tip on that one. Yo, I've got other things I need to water. Come on with me, guys. All right, since we're more towards the front of my house now, in this section here, I've got carrots. And then inside of this section here, I have sweet basil. We go through because like it's got a little bit of an overhang of my house here, so it doesn't typically get good watering here. So I have to always manually water this section here, minimum. If I was gonna sit there and skip watering on other things, this would not be one of them. Even if it was a torrential downpour outside, I can stand here right where these plants are during a heavy rainstorm, and the likelihood of me getting wet is actually slim to none. My allergies be kicking my butt the last few days. Definitely something is in full bloom right now, probably the lilacs. I'm allergic to lilacs. And again, carrots is a root style plant, so they will grow down and establish a root system before you'll see them really sprouting. But I'm getting a couple of what looks like to be a couple of sprouts here and there. Let's see here. Do I have anything that resembles sprouting? I got one here. Maybe one here. Let's see. I mean, it's only a week out. Up, I got one here. So they're starting to sprout very slowly. Do I see anything on the basil side? Basil still hasn't started popping yet. It might take 2 weeks before I start seeing life out of this. And again, I'm doing this from seed. I did not pre-sprout these things. So there might be some stuff that I don't know about and getting good sweet basil growing. It's learning curves. I'm not a farmer. This is my first time I'm actually growing food. So I could be doing things completely wrong, and I wouldn't even know. Because I'm just like, hey, I could put stuff in the dirt and water it. How hard is that? I mean, Mother Nature does it. Why can't I? I mean, that's my thought pattern on it, at least. Oh, I could hear that dirt move, the water moving through the dirt and stuff. It's awesome, actually. Get everything a good soak in here. I might have a little life here. There's a potential here. I'm not sure if that's a grass blade or if that's actually basil starting to pop. Not sure. I've never seen basil grow from the start, so I have no idea if that's a grass blade or if that's basil popping. Get all these plants good little soak in here. I think it might rain a little bit later on today, but either way, I'm still going to water all of this no matter what. All right, so let's go around the corner here, water the next section of the beds. All right, so this is the front of my house. Bam, welcome to the front of my house. And this was the flower bed that I made, raised garden, and you can see that down at the very end, that the landscaping timbers go into the ground basically, I'm on a partial hill. So that's why you see it getting taller on this side and shorter on that side. Wanted to make it look good, and it made the house look more level because the ground isn't. But that's a different story. So over here, in this section here, I have radishes. And they are absolutely loving this. I don't really have that much compost on it. So this was like my experiment with just a little bit of compost, but not a lot. I didn't know how much to put in here or anything like that, so. And it doesn't look like I have, it looks like I'm missing a partial row here, so some of the seeds might not have taken, which is fine. Always plant more than what you really need, just in case some of the plants don't sprout. You want to make sure that you've got plenty, that even if some of the seeds don't work, that you still get a good amount of food to grow. It just looks like a partial row did not take. So I got like one little cluster here, but it's not a lot in the rest of the row, which is fine because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other rows that are kicking it good, guys, really good. And transplanting a lot of these plants here worked out really well. I'm very happy about it. And all right, so going from here that way, because it only gets sunlight for a couple of hours in the morning over here, especially with the last section of these. So there's not very many plants that will grow very well with little to no light. If you want to grow a garden, you want to pick an area that gets about at least 6 hours worth of sun a day. Unfortunately, from about here back, it doesn't. Unfortunately. So with that being said, we put some flowers in here that were good for low light. Non-edible, unfortunately, but it's because this area does not get enough sun to really grow good food. Not that you can't, it's just that knowing that as you start planting in here, the amount of the food won't get as big. So I mean, you can plant, just know that you might have to add supplemental light to something like this, or you're just not going to get a good yield off of it. But we planted some wildflowers over here, and they should do very well in these sections. They're already sprouting, so it's just a matter of keeping the topsoil a little bit moist so that the soil below it stays moist, and they will grow in very nice, make the front of the house look pretty. Just the way that the Wi-Fi likes it, a pretty house in the morning. This is pretty much my morning routine. I come out here, I water for a little bit. I mean, you don't have to sit there and drown your soil, guys. You know, where you're putting a sprinkler head on this for an hour straight. I haven't done any of that. This is pretty much what I do. Like the planting boxes, I might water once in the morning and once in the evening, just because the drainage on them is really good. But something like this, I only come in here once a day on these sections to water, and that seems to be doing the trick. And all these little wildflowers are like popping everywhere. It's kind of cool to know that I planted this stuff, watered it, and I'm helping Mother Nature do its job. So boring to sit there and watch somebody just water the plants really quick, I know. And then in front of the boxes, I tore up the dirt a little bit, and I laid out some old grass seed. I'm not sure if it's actually going to take. I put some grass edging here at the beginning of the box, so I got to make sure I water all of that. This way this stuff stays nice and green also. So far this has been doing amazing. The little grass that I transplanted from my flowers, my planting box at the back corner where you saw me originally start watering with the peas, the zucchini, and the cucumber. And then I'm going to water the straw here. This is supposed to be just grass. The grass looks like it's starting to grow, which is awesome. Very happy that the grass is actually growing. I was worried that the seeds weren't going to take, and it looks like these seeds are sprouting like crazy right now, which is awesome. I'm very happy, very, very happy that it seems like all the grass that I've planted seems to be... I was worried that those grass seeds were so old that they would not take in the slightest fashion. I mean, God, that grass seed that I laid out here is probably 5 years old. So I'm actually seeing 5-year-old seeds sprout. I'm happy. So that means I'll be able to mow the grass here soon. I'll probably give it a little bit more time to actually take rooting before I start chopping or cutting it. So with that being said, I got one other flower box to water. Come on with me. So this is just an area that the wife likes to grow stuff that's pretty up in here. It's shaded out by 2 pine trees, especially as you go towards the back side of the flower box here. So this is all just nothing but flowers up in here, stuff that the wife likes to plant. All that's good stuff. And she's going to need to come in here and, of course, do some weeding. But I will sit there and water this stuff, make sure that it's got plenty of water up in here, because the dirt will get dry relatively quickly. Since it's partially in a hill, there's good drainage over here. So the wife will have to do some weeding this weekend on this one. That will be her project, is to weed her front flower box. And again, you want to do a lot of this watering early in the morning or late in the evening time. Otherwise, the water will intensify the sun on the leaves, and you can actually burn the leaves of your plants. And I actually like to get it right onto the leaves, because the leaves will actually bring the water right down to its roots. Nature is actually really good about making sure that the water goes into the right spots on the plant. It's just a matter of using nature to your advantage. That's pretty much the garden that I've got going on. Let's talk about potentially another project that I got going on. Yeah, let's dig in. So, got the sun right behind me a little bit here. I've got a cool little project that's going to be going off right over here. It'll make watering all of this so much easier, that as soon as I get this going over here on my next project, guys, it'll be absolutely awesome. So this will be my next project coming in here. Check it out. I'll be putting in a rain barrel right here, so that I can use nature to sit there and water all the garden over here. So I'll be able to sit there and water this more effectively. Instead of having to drag the hose all the way out here, I can have water catchment right here, guys. It'll make watering my garden so much easier, because I've got no water spigot on this wall. This is the back side of my house, guys. There's no water spigot here. I have an electrical outlet here, but no water. I put the electrical in whenever I redid this bedroom. So I had the walls open. I was like, we're putting an outside outlet on the other side of the house. It's happening. So that was pretty much what we're going to be doing here. And then all the way over there, guys, another downspout, and I'll be putting in another rain barrel over here, and that'll take care of my garden back here with the peas, the cucumbers, and the zucchini, guys. So if this stuff really interests you and you like this stuff, certainly like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, people. You know what to do. And I'll be bringing you as much rural homesteading as I possibly can, because I'm in rural America. I am in, it's like I'm not in Chicago, But I'm still in a big enough of a town that you don't normally see anybody trying to really homestead. I've got my chickens, I've got my produce. We're going to see how much food that I could sit there and grow for the season and try to not have to buy a lot of my essentials from the big box office stores. Why? Because they're not producing good food. It's subsistence, but they've washed out a lot of the nutritional value out of it, and it's GMOs, guys. You want to eat GMOs? Not me. I get my heirloom seeds. The heirloom seeds will make more seeds, guys. And once they make a seeds for that after that first season, they're more allocated to your climate, guys. And that's what we're wanting. We want your vegetables to be allocated to your climate. So you want heirloom seeds so that they will do the adapting that's required for your area. So you might not, when you're using heirloom seeds, that first season might not be the best, right? But once you get your seeds, guys, you will have good veggies from that point on, because then that next generation will be more suited for your environment. And then, of course, making sure that you've got good soil. And the good soil composition goes with good compost. So I will also do a video on composting here if you guys are interested in that stuff. Again, I'm just learning. This is my first year doing this, so we'll see how this all goes. So with that being said, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you all for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you on the next one.